The Golden State Warriors finally did it, and they're seriously going to do it again. As you all know, the Golden State Warriors over the last couple of games have lost Steph Curry, but currently the Warriors are on a 5-game win streak, and Steph Curry is coming back this Sunday against the LA Lakers, and there are a lot of things to be excited about. So in today's video, we're going to be going through 5 things you should be excited about for the rest of the season now that Stephen Curry is back and that we are heading into the playoffs. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 91% of you that watch these videos aren't subscribed to the channel, so it'd mean the world if you could subscribe to the channel, hit that red button down below. So the first is Steph Curry is coming back, and this was an obvious one because as you all know, losing Stephen Curry has been a huge blow for the Warriors. However, Warriors have done a fantastic job at getting this 5-win streak going, and I think with adding Stephen Curry back into the lineup, he can continue it on. As you all know, they do versus the LA Lakers on Sunday, and he is actually going to be making his return. Now, it is uncertain whether he will be on restricted minutes or not, but either way, it is great to have the greatest shooter alive back in the Golden State Warriors roster. Now, so far this season, he has been averaging 29.4 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 6.4 assists. So he's been doing a fantastic job, and he is putting up MVP type numbers. And the last time he put these types of stats up was back in 2016 and 2017, which was considered as prime Steph Curry. So as you all know, Stephen Curry back into the lineup will actually drop Jordan Poole probably back to the role playing position, and also Donte DiVincenzo. Now, it is sad to see them go from a starting lineup because I think Jordan Poole has done a fantastic job. They may still run him maybe at the shooting guard and maybe move Klay to the small forward as Andrew Wiggins is still injured. However, I think Jordan Poole for the meantime has done a great job, but I think it's great to have him and also DiVincenzo back into the role playing position, because once they have everyone such as Gary Payton II back in and really have those role players and that second unit going, it will definitely be a hard team to stop overall. But Stephen Curry is Stephen Curry. There really is nothing else to it. He's been averaging 5 threes this season and is shooting 42% from the 3-point line, which is the highest percentage he's ever shot ever in his career. So he's honestly playing and aging like fine wine out there, and I do think him against this LA Lakers squad that is coming up, and also for the rest of the regular season, he's going to be putting up some great numbers, and supposedly he is 100% there. Now, I do think having him gone has really taken a huge blow when it comes to especially Klay Thompson, who Klay Thompson has taken a lot of burden when it comes to his scoring, and he also has to play, be that 3-and-D guy where he's playing defense. But having Stephen Curry back really does ease it off Klay, and it actually makes Klay more open to score and gives him more opportunities for those spot up threes that he loves. So what the Golden State Warriors were missing as Stephen Curry was out was definitely a lot of the ball movement and also a lot of attention that Stephen Curry gathers. As you all know, Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter alive, and he's going to have 2, maybe even 3 defenders looking and staring at him at the same time, and I do think that causes a lot of other players such as Klay, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, even someone like Draymond Green to even be more open because all the attention is on Steph. Now that he is back into the lineup, it is going to ease up a lot of the scoring for Klay and Poole and also other players like Wiggins, and I do think it will do a fantastic job at being able to garner attention and have Klay and Poole and also someone like DiVincenzo play at their highest level. They've been doing that over the last couple of games, and I do think this streak will continue on. Even if Stephen Curry does, take some of their shots away, I think they are capable of keeping this hot streak alive. Poole, as you all know, has been averaging around 25-26 points ever since Stephen Curry went down, and also Klay Thompson himself was averaging around 25 points when he went down as well. So I think the hot streak can continue for both of those players, but Stephen Curry really does garner a lot of attention, and I do think it will help this team, especially for the rest of the regular season. So the second is having Jordan Poole and DiVincenzo back into the second unit. Now, we may see DiVincenzo actually play a bit of starting role, or also Jordan Poole due to the fact that Wiggins is still injured, but once Wiggins is back, we'll see Jordan Poole, Donte DiVincenzo, also other players like Jonathan Kuminga, and hopefully very, very soon Gary Payton II all coming off the bench. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that is an insane second unit. That could be a starting team in another NBA team like maybe the Charlotte Hornets or something like that, but I honestly do think that this second unit has become so much stronger ever since Stephen Curry went down, because a lot of the players have actually improved. We've seen Kuminga really really get into his stride and be able to score late in and late out. And I do think also Jordan Poole doing what he does best, and DiVincenzo has found his way with the team. As you all know, this is DiVincenzo's first year, and he was struggling a little bit at the start of the season to get points going, to even get rebounds and assists going, but now it seems like it is second nature to him. Donte DiVincenzo has had multiple 20+ point games ever since Steph Curry went down. He's also had a couple of games where he's getting 8, 9, even 10 rebounds in those games. So he's been honestly putting up so many great stats, and same with Jordan Poole. So I do think this second unit has gotten stronger ever since Stephen Curry went down, and it may have been a blessing for disguise due to the fact that the playoffs are coming up. When it comes playoff time, guys, it's not only about the starters if they're good, but that second unit is just as important. If their second unit is better than the other team's second unit, then they are definitely going to win that game, and that is where they continue to take opportunities. And that's what Golden State Warriors have done in the past. Yes, they've had great players like Steph, Wiggins, Klay Thompson, all this, but when you look at the second unit and how well they are compared to second units of other teams, that's where they really do exploit, other teams, and that's one of the reasons why they were able to win the NBA championship. So I do think now that GP the second is back, and hopefully he will be back before playoff starts, but this second unit is looking just as scary as the first unit, and I think that a lot of NBA teams are scared, and they should be very, very ready for what is coming. The third is Patrick Baldwin Jr. getting more minutes. Now, as you all know, I know a lot of you have been so excited to see Patrick Baldwin Jr. out there in the Golden State Warriors uniform, as he has been oscillating between NBA and also G League, but now he has been called up. As you all know, sadly to say, James Wiseman was traded to the Detroit Pistons, and it does seem that Patrick Baldwin Jr. is going to be taking his place at being that guy that's kind of a big man, but also is more of a scoring big man. Now, we have seen him actually get around 9 to 10 minutes a game in these Golden State Warriors games without Stephen Curry, and I do think that will continue on since we don't have James Wiseman anymore. Now, during this time, he's actually averaging 5.2 points, 1.5 rebounds, and also 1.6 assists. So he's done a great job for the amount of minutes that he's actually getting. If we actually put his stats and correlate it to around per 36 minutes, he would have been averaging 21 points, 6.5 rebounds, and also 3 assists. So he's done a fantastic job for the amount of minutes that he is getting, and I do think it will probably stay around that range, especially when it comes to the rest of the season, and also maybe even playoff time, maybe even a little bit less. But I do think for the amount of minutes that he is out there for, it is going to be exciting to see him play. I remember Jonathan Kuminga and also other players like Moses Moody, when we did see them at the very start where they were only getting 10, 11 minutes, and now they have really pushed it up more and more, especially Kuminga, and we've seen them grow into such special players. So I think Patrick Baldwin Jr. is definitely in that stepping stone, and he is going to have a long way to go, but I do think it is already great signs to see what he's capable of doing for the amount of minutes that he's getting. If you don't remember, Steve Kerr actually said during the preseason that the person that he was most excited to see play was actually Patrick Baldwin Jr. He actually said that he was one of the most mature players out there, even though he was one of the youngest players out there on the floor. So it does say a lot about Steve Kerr on what he thinks of Patrick Baldwin Jr. and also the future for him, especially in this Golden State Warriors roster. He does have a lot of tweaking he needs to do when it comes to, different strengths and weaknesses he needs to work on, but I do think overall his game is definitely there, and the foundation that he has built can definitely grow from it, especially with players such as Steph, Klay, Wiggins, and Draymond Green in your team. The fourth is Andrew Wiggins coming back very soon. Now, a lot of you probably may have forgotten, but Andrew Wiggins is also injured as well, and he has honestly been such a star player for this team. Now, Donte DiVincenzo has done a fantastic job at replacing him, and I do think he really deserves the credit that he does, but having Wiggins back is honestly going to be a huge increase when it comes to especially the defensive side of things. Wiggins so far this season is averaging 17.1 points, 5 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and also 1.2 steals and 1 block per game. So he pretty much does everything out there from scoring, rebounding, playmaking, steals, and blocks, and it's honestly insane to have someone like Andrew Wiggins' caliber in this team. Wiggins is definitely in those peak years of his career, and I do think he is making the most out of it, and especially doing a fantastic job with the Golden State Warriors. Once it comes playoff time, especially with DiVincenzo finding his way, there are going to be a lot of players frustrated once Andrew Wiggins is guarding them, and also if Donte DiVincenzo was out there on him, and also if Gary Payton II. So they got a lot of defensive stoppers, which honestly makes this team such a fantastic team for the playoff time, because I do think, as the saying goes, defense wins championships, and I completely agree with that. Having so many defensive players in this team, especially on the ball defensive players, really makes this team hard to stop, but it also has them making it very difficult for them to score. You have Draymond, you got Wiggins, you also got Clay, Kuminga, Dante DiVincenzo. The list really does go on and on, guys, and that's what I think is really going to help this team, especially when it comes to playoff time. But Wiggins is still injured. It hasn't been mentioned when he will actually come back, but it is suspected that he is going to be coming back just before playoff time, and there are around 20 games left of the season. So I do think he will definitely come around probably that 15 to 10 game left mark, and once they're there, he can definitely get back into the groove of things before the playoffs happen. The fifth and probably the most underrated one is that Steve Kerr is getting these guys playoff ready. Now, as you all know, the Golden State Warriors, especially for the last 5 games, have been on a massive win streak, and one of the reasons that Klay Thompson and also Draymond Green said was that Steve Kerr has been putting up game plans that are more playoff-like. Now, one of the problems with this is that the Golden State Warriors players are getting tired as games go on, and Steve Kerr isn't really resting them like a lot of other teams are doing. However, the Golden State Warriors aren't in that position to be taking it easy, because they are still fighting for a spot in the playoffs. Right now, they are doing very well ever since that 5-game win streak, where they're kind of oscillating between 6th place all the way up to around 4th place, which is really good to see. But the Golden State Warriors need to continue to win because they are not playoff bound just yet. And I do think this has done a fantastic job, especially with Steve Kerr giving out game plans that are really help them win these games, especially without Stephen Curry there. I think this plays a huge advantage, because if Steve Kerr continues to do this for this Golden State Warriors team, then players such as Clay, Steph, Andrew Wiggins, the list really does go on and on. They are all playoff ready, and they are ready to go for when the playoffs actually start, while other teams may be a little bit sleepy and may not be up to their level. So I do think this may pay off. It's a high risk, high reward situation, but I do think Steve Kerr winning so many NBA championships, he knows what he's doing, and he knows how to get this Golden State Warriors team back into the NBA playoffs and back to another NBA championship.